J, the I, the M, the M, the Y, the J, the I, the M. It's Jimmy. It's Jimmy. The J, the I, the M, the M, the Y, the J, the I, the M. It's Jimmy. It's Jimmy.
How is that for a new opener? Oh, I hope that gets everyone pumped for the Jim Norton Advice Show. Isn't that a good new opening? Really gets you going. It's got my name in it. All right. It's the Jim Norton Advice Show. And, April Fools! It's obviously April 1st. And, a lovely afternoon so far. It's been a really weird couple of days with this whole Trevor Noah thing. Everybody is talking about, most people that listen to the show, even the ones that hate the show but listen to it because they have nothing else to do, they agree. I think Trevor Noah shouldn't be fired or penalized. And it's like, when does it get boring? Like, we get sick of talking about it. I know I do. It's like you just get sick of yapping about the same thing. But, when are they going to stop hassling people for jokes? Like, I don't know. There's not one person I've ever met that actually said, hey, that's a great idea. I don't like what that person said. It just drives me nuts. I try to remain calm, though. I really do. Me and Anthony used to talk about that, because he gets so crazy over the racial stuff, and I don't like most of it either. I find that the media reporting on it is very, very inconsistent and irritating. But we were discussing it one time, and it said, it's like we wait for that moment where we're going to say the magic thing, which makes everybody change their mind. And that moment just never comes. Mark in New Jersey, what's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I've been sober about 15 months now, and
Okay.
I'm losing friends.
Why?
Well, not losing them per se. They're still there, but they're not calling me to go out anymore because they feel like I'll have a problem at going out to a bar or something like that, or if there's alcohol around, and I just don't know where I could meet people. I go to like a rock climbing gym and stuff like that, but I don't know where I can meet other non-alcohol related activities, I guess. I don't know if you went through that or...
Well, it's kind of hard. I hung out with sober people. I just kind of stayed with people who were like I was, people who were sober. And there was sober dances. They were kind of lame compared to, I'm sure, a nightclub. But, you knew you weren't going to get punched in the face in one. And, I knew I wasn't going to get laid anyway. They were very lonely times for me. But I found I got a tremendous amount of new friends. I don't know if did you go to any programs or anything for being sober?
No, I stopped on my own before, family stepped in, and no one really told me I had a problem. I recognized it on my own, and I've been strong enough to just not do it.
Well, why, let me ask you, why are your friends not hanging out with you?
Well, I think they feel they don't know how to interact with me. They all go out to go into a bar or something like that, so I'm just not getting the phone calls.
Right.
Say, hey, come to the bar with us, we're going out. Or even for dinner parties and things like that nature. I guess they just feel awkward about it, but I'm fine.
Well, I think you should tell them that. I have people, I go on dates once in a while, and I'll be with someone, and they'll be like, do you mind if I have a drink? I'm like, what do I care? No. They're being courteous and they're being nice, but sometimes people just need you to say, hey, look, it's fine if you have a drink. I'm not a fucking bleeding deacon. I don't go out and, preach fire and brimstone. That's your business. I don't want somebody getting falling down loaded around me because that's just annoying for anybody to deal with. But maybe if you reach out to your friends and go, hey, look, you haven't been calling me as much. I can't go out and get fucked up the way I used to, but I still miss you and like hanging out with you. Let them know that it's okay for them to be themselves around you. And don't forget, if any of them have a problem, you quitting may disturb them because that could be a mirror that they're being forced to kind of hold up to themselves too. So that may just be a part of it. So what I would suggest is go to sober places and meet people who are sober.
Do you find women have a problem with it? I find women, when I first meet them and I let them know, hey, I don't drink or anything, they have like a real bad reaction to it. And then I don't get, third or fourth dates, really.
No, I don't think that they're, maybe you're more nervous or maybe they become self-conscious about their own drinking. But no, women tend to like it because I'm not some sloppy drunk and I have real conversations with them. But don't let it discourage you, man. Just keep moving forward. You'll find plenty of sober people. You're going to lose a lot more people being drunk than you will being sober. Believe me, okay?
Thanks, Jim.
Take care, buddy. Cody in Buffalo, how do I keep from getting discouraged by negativity on social media? I've never experienced it, Cody. Hey, what's up, man?
How's it going, Jim?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Good, man. I read your Time article. I want to tell you that I absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
I thought it was very well written, and I agree with everything that you brought up.
Thank you.
I was just curious. I mean, you're a public figure. You're on the radio. You're a comedian. You tour, so you probably experience it more than someone like myself. But when you're dealing with, when you're on social media, you see a lot of people kind of posting things that contradict the notion that you were alluding to in your article. People that kind of support the political correct viewpoint and over censoring things. And a lot of times when I see stuff like that, like I just get so frustrated. I almost want to like delete my Twitter and like just get off the internet because I feel like it's almost a hopeless situation. Like there's too much ignorance around us to even try and fight against it. And I'm curious, kind of, since you probably deal with it more, how you deal with, instead of just withdrawing, actually being outspoken and trying to fight against that.
Well, it's funny because that's what people do. That's why people, like when I debated Lindy West, people who didn't agree with her, and I didn't agree with her, but there was no reason to be nasty to her. Like literally, she had the debate. She showed up, but guys were still going on, you're a cunt who should get raped, because they think that they're just being edgy, but they don't understand, like, you're saying that, like, they don't even know why they're doing it. The reality is they want to be heard. People want to be heard. And sometimes just saying something really awful is the only way you think that you're going to be heard. And I understand because I have that same instinct. Believe me, there's times like, if taxes go up or whatever, I want to go on, President Obama's Twitter and just yell, fuck you. We all want to do that because you think that will get a reaction, but it really doesn't. Because we're afraid if we talk civilly, believe me, I've said a lot of horrible shit, so I'm not against saying horrible shit. But I mean, I understand why I do a lot of it. It's a frustration and a fear of not being heard. And, realistically, man, I talk for a living, so I'm going to have to deal with it. And I've been brutally criticized on social media. Sometimes it's accurate. Sometimes it's not. You have to kind of know. I think I'm at least fair enough with myself to have a good gauge for when it's accurate and when it's not, or, as a stand-up, I've said this before, but you get criticized every fucking night. Every night that they don't laugh, that's a room full of people going, nope. You know what I mean? It's like somebody on Twitter. It's like, come on, dude. I fucking, every night an audience tells me what you're telling me with one joke or another, sometimes with all my jokes. So, you just have to know it for what it is and recognize it for what it is. Like most of the social media outrage is a lie. So I know it's a lie and I address it as the lie that it is. So it feels kind of good to combat all these fucking babies, all these fucking little crybabies just by being logical and expressing my opinions. That's all you can do. I mean, otherwise, look, they're going to express their opinion, so fuck them. Why should I express mine? All right?
Yeah, well said. I just want to say, man, like for you to be in the position you're in and to have those opinions and to be able to write for Time and get it out there, you're really like an inspiration to someone like myself that like it is worthwhile and there is a place for people like us, I guess. So I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it too, man. And I only write for Time when they ask me to. Like, I've never asked Time, hey, could I write this article for you? I've never gone to them. They have asked me. The only thing, I've said no to a couple things. Like, they asked me to write about Joan Rivers, who I love, but I just didn't know her. So I felt like I wasn't qualified to write anything. I wound up writing this, though, because they asked me to.
It was a great article, dude. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Ryan in Chicago, wife passed away 2 years ago, having trouble moving on.
My name's Paul, actually, but yeah, my wife passed away 2 years ago, and I cannot meet anyone for the life of me now, and I'm a bit of an older gentleman, and so I'm having trouble.
How old are you?
Wondering what to do.
How old are you?
57.
Well, you know, the thing I would suggest is you get yourself a white van and you drive around and you meet a younger person and you get them inside the van and you get to know each other.
Every time I do that, people start yelling at me.
That's because they're a bunch of goddamn tattletales and they don't understand when people are in love. You gotta say, go ahead, wave your little fat arms, show everyone we're in love.
Yeah, we're just happy is all.
See you later, Ryan. Take care, buddy. Be good. Let's see. Yeah, my wife died in a fire. Let's see here. James in North Carolina wants to let you know he's pulling April Fool's jokes on everybody. What's up, James?
I have to say I absolutely love you today because I have been going and spreading the gospel of Edgar everywhere I go. I went to the truck stop. I drive trucks. So I went in the truck stop. I went in the bathroom. About every 3 minutes, I was hollering, up to pose.
It feels great, doesn't it? I would love to see video of that. It's Edgar Mellencamp on Twitter, and it has to be something really ridiculous. Like if you're in the bathroom and the rest stop, go, look, this is the kitchen. April Fools! My favorite is the fact that my manager is such a psychopath, he literally can't control himself. He can't not do it. It's the knee-jerk reaction. So if I know he has people in his office, I'll call him, and I'll just go like, I'm on the moon. And then when I pause, he has to say it. So thank you, James. I appreciate you spreading the gospel of Edgar. Please do so, because Edgar's gospel needs to be spread.
Okay.
All right, be good. Artie in Connecticut. Sister wants to be nice to you after years of not talking to you and being shitty. Hey, buddy.
Jim Norton, that big night at Foxwoods recently.
Oh, okay. I hope you were there, right?
No, I was at the Ultimate Fight at Mohegan Sun. I had a great time.
Oh, okay.
Boom. Hello?
I'm right here, buddy. I'm listening.
Oh, yeah, listen. My sister, her husband recently died. Now, she hadn't been in contact with me. She cost me money in a lawsuit. And they sold my grandmother's house, and the people that sold the house took her to Hawaii. I didn't get 10 cents. So all of a sudden, she wants to be my buddy. You know, I'm going to take you out for coffee. I tried to pull the Band-Aid. How do I get rid of her?
Do you think she wants something from you, or does she just want a relationship with you?
Look, my brother got a $400,000 inheritance. I got a nice house in Connecticut. She got nothing. She's got a big mouth, as Jackie Gleason would say.
Well,
I can't. I'm telling you. Listen, this is the kind of girl she is. She came up to me one time. I came off of my jet ski. She says, "I'm going to punch myself in the face and go to the cops and say you did it, and they're going to kill you."
So why would? Yeah, I don't blame you for not wanting. Is she like, bipolar, or is there something wrong with her?
Of course. And she's jealous because I got a house, my brother got something, she got nothing, and now she's really all alone, and she's on my ass.
Well, if you don't want to deal with her, I would suggest telling her that, or just don't call her. Just don't be in the relationship.
Don't call her. She calls me, and I just, because she's having this, her DJ has been Mike West, TIC, Hall of Fame. Husband dropped dead. She didn't even buy him an obituary because she said she didn't have the $1,000.
Then just don't have a relationship with her. That's all.
Get rid of him. I don't want to call the cops. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to be polite. But
well, why would you call the cops? Is she's not stalking you? She's not doing anything illegal. She's just annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you could tell her, I don't want a relationship with you at this time. And tell her what you just told me. I felt you did all this stuff. I don't want a relationship with you, and that's it. You're an adult. Just because she's your sister, if you feel, hey, look, this is a shitty person who has lied to me and stolen from me, or whatever you want to say, then you don't have to have a relationship with her. Family is great and very important, but if your family is genuinely lousy, you don't have to be around them.
Thank you.
Okay, buddy, take care. Good luck. I'm lucky. I have a good sister. We don't hang out that much because I'm always working, but my sister's nice. Like I have a nice family. Like they're really good people. So I guess I got very, very lucky. Craig in AZ would I encourage my kids to go into stand-up? What's up, buddy?
Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? Hey, so I have a 7-year-old kid who's, and he's kind of a genuinely funny kid.
Sure.
And I was just wondering, not even to just go into stand-up, but just because kind of funny people tend to get over in life, how would you sort of like, if it was your kid, introduce him to more like, into stand-up, or would you kind of keep that away from him, or,
well, I liked it when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, I loved stand-up. I used to, like I said, we had Robert Klein in recently, and I would tape record his special and listen to it when I was like 10 or 11. So expose the kid to some stand-up. Expose him to like Jeff Dunham and Peanut, or some of the cleaner acts. Again, maybe Patton Oswalt or a few of the other guys who are really, smart and funny, and see if he takes to any of it. See if it resonates with him or means anything to him. It has to just mean something to him. Do you know what I mean? He has to see it, and it has to kind of resonate. But I would just say expose him to it. Again, you want to start with some of the cleaner comedians, just so the kid's not running around yelling cunt lips all day. But I would suggest doing that, and see how he feels.
Cool.
Okay. Kevin Hart, maybe Kevin Hart stand up. Because Kevin does some really, pretty translatable stuff to broader audiences. And, he might like Kevin's image a lot.
Awesome. Hey, I wanted to tell you, he's obviously the first grade learning to read. He picked a book out the other day where his main character's name was Chip. Oh. So I was sitting there listening to this little turd read, and every time he'd go, Chip with the story, Chip, what's that? Chip, what's that?
It's satisfying. I encourage everyone to do that. Whenever you hear Chip, just go, what's that? I didn't hear you. And then get angry at them. But they go, potato chips. Speak louder. It's really, really fun. All right. Thanks a lot, man. And good luck, buddy, with the kid, okay?
Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
Good. Let's see. I have a couple of people with the same subject here. Anthony in Pennsylvania messed up with your relationship by getting caught with a hooker. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Jimmy. How you doing? First
Good.
time, long time. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man. The relationship was kind of, on the rocks, but we were kind of working at things, and, she said she wanted to be with me, but at the time she was with someone else. And I don't know, man. You get kind of lonely, and I wound up getting caught. It was on like the front page of the local newspaper, Facebook
you got
spread like wild.
Yeah. All right, how'd you get arrested?
There's a police thing.
Okay, and it's a tough one. So it's amazing to me how they pursue such a thing like that. There's so many more serious. Like, they should get guys who are being genuinely abusive to women, not somebody who just goes out and picks up a hooker. But whatever, that's the law. And so now she doesn't want to get back with you, huh?
Yeah, kind of. You know what I mean? Nail in the coffin kind of thing. I'm just real tore up about it. And it was kind of one of those things like, for months, I kept getting a story that, she wanted to be with me and love me and this and that. But yes, she was with someone else. And I kept saying, well, if you really wanted to be with me, you would be.
Right.
And I don't know, I just kind of got to that point where I felt that I was being lied to too much, or not being told the whole story, whatever the case may be. And it just kind of threw me over the edge a little bit.
Well, then why can't she accept that?
I guess there's an embarrassment to it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, I live in a pretty small town, so
okay, well, you know what? You ruined a relationship with someone who you felt was lying to you, right?
Maybe not lying, but maybe not telling me the whole truth, I guess.
Well, then, what have you really lost? I mean, I know you probably miss her. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. My cough button's obviously not working. But what have you really lost? It's the addiction of being with that person sometimes is really hard. But she was with somebody else. She was kind of lying to you, and she won't forgive you. I think that's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I hear exactly what you're saying, but, I mean, I guess maybe more of the root of the problem is why I went down that road,
I don't know. Sorry, as we're talking, just so you know, our delay broke and we got knocked off the air earlier. I apologize. I'm just reading a note. Hopefully we're on the air now. Dude, I know it's a grief process. All I can suggest to you is to move on. If she doesn't want to be with you, you fucked up. You got caught with a hooker. You won't mess the next one up. But hey, look, this girl to me, she was with somebody else and she was lying to you. It wasn't like you took a great relationship and fucked it up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hang in there, man. Okay?
Thank you, Jimmy.
Find somebody else. Go on a dating website. I promise you'll forget this person.
I hope so.
You will. No, so that's a guarantee.
All right. Well, Jimmy, I appreciate the time, man. Thank you very much.
Okay, buddy. Good luck.
All right.
Mary in Long Island. What should relationship be with an ex when you're in a new relationship? Great question. Hi, Mary.
How you doing, Jim?
Good. Quick question. How long did you date your ex and how long did you break up?
Actually, he got the question kind of mixed up. I've been with my boyfriend for about a year, and he has an ex-wife, and they have 2 children together. And for some reason, I mean, I understand they have kids, but all day, every day, he's getting a text message, she's calling him, and it's not like it's not being reciprocated. Like, he's friends with her on Facebook, they tag pictures of themselves together, and I'm like, dude, like, I don't even feel like your girlfriend, I kind of feel like your mistress here.
How long were they married?
They were married for 2 years, and I think they were together for like 8.
I don't know what the appropriate thing is there because I've never been through the situation. I can only speak for myself. Like my ex-girlfriend, it took a little while. We have no kids together, but she's probably my best friend or one of my best friends. Not Chelsea, but another girl who lives in LA named Jen. And, I talk to her every day. I text with her more than any human being. We don't have sports sex. Like we don't sport fuck. We don't talk dirty to each other. She's just my friend. There are times when you're with somebody and then you break up, and when a little while goes by, you realize like, wow, man, I really love this person, but yet we're not good in a relationship together. So sometimes you can have a really, really close friend that you get out of a relationship that doesn't work. And Jen and I are never inappropriate with each other. You know what I mean? So I don't know how him and his, don't forget they have kids together too. So maybe it's just better for the kids. You know what I mean? The other option may be, at least he's not with her. Like he's with you, right?
He is. It's just, I'm constantly feeling like I come second to her. For instance, I have a child and an ex that I was with for 6 years, and we have a schedule when he has our daughter so that we can both go out. He doesn't have that schedule, and I'm like, listen, can you schedule a month, one weekend a month that you don't have your kids so that we can go out? No, we can't do that. I want them every weekend. Okay, well, I want a relationship with you too,
Right, sure.
And then I find out that the ex is going out and partying and having a grand old time, and I'm like, well, can't we go out and do that stuff,
Yes, I understand what you mean. And if he's not willing to do that, maybe, look, was there any shot that she was going to fight him for, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the dynamics of the relationship are, but you have a choice then. If that's the way he's going to do it, you've already said how you feel. So you're either going to learn to adapt to it and adjust to it and hope it gets a little bit better, or dump him. Now, I'm not saying you should dump him. That's just all you really can do. You can only, one of those two options is, you can do that, or you cannot do that. That's totally up to you, but those are your choices.
Yeah, I'm really conflicted about it. I mean, I love him. It's a great relationship otherwise, but, I understand that I have a relationship with my ex. It's normal. It's healthy. It's good for our daughters, but he's just too buddy-buddy with her. And he acknowledges it, but he's like, well, I don't want to be enemies with her. And I'm like, you don't have to be enemies with her, but I don't need her texting you all day, every day. I don't need you, I don't need to go onto your Facebook feed and see pictures of your kids that say my everything and then tag her with it. It's kind of like, well, you're my girlfriend, but she's my wife. So she's higher than you, and I'm just tired of it. I really am at the point where I think we're going to break up because I just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, then there you go. You can answer your question. You've made your wishes known, and hey, that's all you can do. I mean, if he doesn't want to do it the way you want to do it, and you're not happy, then hey, that's your choice.
Yeah. I figured I would ask because you do give such good advice.
Yeah.
So, okay, Jim, thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot. Oh, let's see. A lot of people tonight. Matt in Rhode Island, tough question. Aspiring radio host. What's up, buddy?
Jim, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Jim, so I'm a young guy, 24 years old. I went to college. I studied communication, and I had a radio show at college that was pretty successful. It was all about cars, so it kind of had a specific audience, but we did a pretty good job with it with social media and all that stuff. And when I graduated, I went out and I worked for a car dealership, got promoted a couple of times. I thought that I was kind of on a fast track to doing some good stuff there. And all of a sudden, about 2 months ago, it came to a halt. The general manager walked into my office and said, all right, buddy, pack up your stuff. You got to go. Why? Don't really know. I guess I just didn't do a good enough job according to his standards. And so for about, a month or so, I kind of sat on my ass, was kind of drinking, playing video games, doing whatever, trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. And I had some issues. I got kind of depressed. I had some anxiety problems. I had to go see a therapist, all that crap. And I'm doing better now, but I decided, all right, I got to try to follow my passion. So I started up a podcast, and it's called Motor Mouth. It's all about cars, which, again, could be a little boring if you're not a car guy. And I'm trying to get it out there, and I'm trying to get it out to these radio stations and stuff like that. I just finally got an email back from an AM radio station here in Rhode Island, and they're telling me, yeah, well, if we like it, you're going to have to pay us money. You're going to have to write us a $2,000 check to get some airtime Sunday morning.
Listen, it's a different game. Podcasting is probably the smarter way to go right now. Just keep doing your podcast. That's what my suggestion is. Very, very hard to break into radio. If they want to charge you $2,000 to get on the air, fuck them. Unless they just want to sell you the airtime and you can sell advertising and make money, maybe that's an opportunity. But I would suggest continuing just to do your podcast. That's all I would suggest. Keep doing it, make it better and better. Hopefully get more and more people listening, and then you'll make some money doing it and you won't even need the radio.
What do you think the best way to promote the podcast is, really? Social media?
Yeah, I think so, buddy. It's a really hard thing to promote because there's so fucking many of them now. So how do you stand out? That's the tough part. Get some guests on, see if you can get some traction from social media. But yeah, that's the only way to do it. It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I'm looking, hoping one day maybe I can get myself into that Sirius XM studio. So we'll see what happens.
Take care, buddy. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks.
Chris in New York. Am I aware of stats about sexual abuse victims becoming abusers? What's up, Chris? Are you asking, am I aware that there are? I don't know the exact stats, but I'm sure it's pretty high.
Yeah, because I'm sadly a victim myself when I was younger. And my wife and I have been trying to conceive for almost 3 years now, and nothing's happened. And in the back of my mind, I guess in some sick way, I'm thinking that maybe it hasn't happened because maybe, I don't know, in some weird way, I would be an abuser myself in some sick, disgusting way that I would think. I don't know. Like, maybe that's the only reason that my wife and I can't conceive is because I was abused for so long.
Well, how long were you abused for? How long were you abused for?
About 4 years.
Okay, and by a member of the immediate family?
Yeah.
So do you have a fear that you will do it?
No, not at all.
You're saying you think it might be some karma thing?
Possibly. I don't know, Jim, because my wife and I have been trying for almost 2 years, and it's so depressing not being able to have a family. And it's just the person who did it to me was also abused himself. I just found out. And I don't know, maybe it was a karma thing that I'm thinking about, or some kind of just weird out of the ordinary thing as to why we can't. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, maybe
let me ask you, the reason I'm asking that is because you're calling the show. And karma, there's really no answer for that. Do I think it's karma? Of course not. Because, there's awful people that have kids and there's great people that can't. So, of course, karma to me has nothing to do with it. It's a non-existent thing, I don't think. Maybe deep down you're worried. Maybe you don't have any desire for kids, do you?
No, not at all. I'm just
maybe deep down you don't trust yourself. Maybe deep down there's a fear of that. because why else would you be asking about it? Think about it. Like, you know that karma has nothing to do with it. It's not like you did anything wrong. You were just abused.
Well, every person I've spoken to about my wife and I trying to conceive, all I keep hearing is, "Oh, victims become abusers. Victims become abusers," and I guess I'm starting to believe it. You know what I'm saying?
But victims do, but hold on. But not all victims become abusers, dude. I think most abusers have been victims, but not all victims become abusers. There's a lot of people who survive sexual abuse who go the other way and like overprotect their kids. And, look, if you're talking about it and you're concerned about it, and I mean, I don't know if you've dealt with it in therapy, but I guess that's the thing to do for sexual abuse. Then you're already looking at it and doing something with it. So if any weird feelings come up or any weird urges come up, then you can talk about it with your therapist. I think if you're healthy and you're aware that this stuff happened and you're talking about it, you're conscious of it, chances are you're not going to do it. At least I don't think you would, because you seem to be a lot more aware than a lot of people who would go out and do it.
Yeah. No. I definitely think I'm a good person, and I would never ever I would love to shoot somebody in the face that does that to a child, but I don't know. I guess just hearing it from so many people that I've spoken to about that, I guess it just started to weigh on my mind that maybe they're right.
Not at all. They are at times right, but that has nothing to do with why you haven't conceived. And the fact that you're even thinking of that, now that you're so much more aware of it, you obviously remember the stuff that happened. I think you're a lot less likely to do it. So just make sure deep down in your mind that you don't have a desire or a fear of doing that. And if you do, then talk to somebody. But no, karma has zero to do with it, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Jimmy.
All right. Good luck, Chris.
Thanks, buddy.
Matt in Ohio, what are you, laying in front of someone's door? I'm just chipping you. Used to deal with crazy girls and has a good one now, and you don't want to fuck it up. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Jimmy. Sorry about that, man.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I've got a tendency to pick these these emotional train wrecks, and I get into it. It's too late. By that point, we're knee deep into a relationship, and, needless to say, it turns into shit.
But hold on. You going to tell me you don't see that they're a little crazy?
Well, yeah, like after I fall in love, the red flags, I realize, okay, maybe I should have been a little bit more observant, but it's too late at that point, and then it just trickles downward. But
it's not too late. I think that you must like the crazy ones on some level, like I do, because we can always see when they're nuts. We can always see it. It's almost never a surprise if I'm honest with myself, but a lot of times I don't want to see it.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I've found this girl, and she is incredible. I mean, on every level that you need from a potential good partner. No red flags. I've been really observant, and I'm just wondering, do I set boundaries? Because I just want to profess everything to this chick, and so now I'm confused on, do I do what I normally do, or should I just back up and potentially lose her?
Well, what do you mean do what you normally do? What is it that you want to do that's so bad? I just don't know what you mean. I'm sorry, buddy.
I fall in love relatively fast.
Yes,
right?
that's why I definitely, okay. That's part of the crazy girl attraction. That's part of the crazy girl attraction. We get addicted to these emotional rushes, like these fucking, I love you, and then it always goes wrong. And then you get a nice girl and you pull that shit. I've done that too with naked pictures. Like, I've talked to some really fun girls. They'll send you a naked picture. But if I talk to a nice girl and I'm like, let me see your cunt, and they're like, I don't do that. I'm like, oh, you fucking prude. But then I'm like, you dummy. She's probably just a girl who doesn't send nude pictures of her vagina. Doesn't mean she's a prude. Sometimes we get so jaded with the crazy ones that we get tempted to treat the nice ones like crazy ones. By the way, not all girls who said they're pussy are crazy. But, no, don't do anything that feels like it's rushing. If you feel like you're rushing, you probably are.
Okay.
Okay? That's what I would suggest.
Thanks, Jimmy. I like the new intro.
Thank you very much. It's really, by the way, it was such an April Fool's thing. I forgot about that. I hope people understand that. April Fools! Thank you for mentioning that. I love hip-hop, and that was an old Boogie Down Production song. But I hope people realize I was kidding with that. I forgot to mention that because I just went right into a call or started yapping about Trevor Noah. By the way, Dave Drainman from I saw a tweet from Dave Drainman from Disturbed, who I do enjoy very much. He writes back in all capital letters, "No, Jim Norton, anti-Semitism is the problem. It's a cancer that spreads, and Trevor Noah is helping it metastasize." I like Dave Draymond. I think he's an awesome singer, and I hear he's a pretty hardcore Israeli. But I think he is wrong about that. I think that anti-Semitism is a terrible problem, but being a comedian doing Jewish jokes does not make you an anti-Semite. Not agreeing with Israel does not make you an anti-Semite. There are genuine anti-Semites, and yes, they're a problem. But whatever, I just like Dave Draymond, and then after the show, I'm now going to have to tweet him back, and so we're probably not going to get along. All right, let's see. Fernando in Texas. Mother-in-law problems. Want to cut her off, but you don't want to keep the kid away from grandma. Fair enough. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Jimmy? Great to talk to you, man.
Of course it is. I'm a big celebrity.
Yes, you are.
Thanks,
Jimmy, just having an issue. Like, for instance, my big problem is, like, this weekend is Easter weekend, and they're big Catholics, and I'm not, for one. And two is, I don't want to go over to their house. They have a big little thing going on at their house every Easter, and I don't want to go. And I work a lot during the week, so my time with my daughter and my wife are precious to me on the weekends. So, for instance, this Sunday, it's either I go over with my wife and my daughter to their house and, you know, partake in their little festivities, or stay home and be the asshole. And if I tell my wife, no, you know what, I don't want, you know, my daughter, I don't want Catherine to go over there, well, she's going to, you know, she'll probably say, okay, we'll stay home. But now my mother-in-law is going to be like, you see, they don't let me see her. They don't come over. They don't do this. And we're kind of stuck in the middle of her cuntiness and my daughter having any type of relationship with her grandma.
How is she to the daughter?
She's great. I don't have an issue with that. And that's something that I dealt with in counseling too, with my own mother. I don't really speak. Well, not really. I don't speak to my mother at all. So my daughter really doesn't have a grandma to, you know, really have in her life. And she's done no harm to my daughter. I don't have a complaint on it. It's just, I don't want to interfere with that. Just because she's a cunt to me and my wife doesn't mean she's a cunt to my daughter.
I'll say this. A buddy of mine has a couple kids, and his mother-in-law lives with him and his wife. And he complains to me sometimes, like, the mother-in-law, because the mother-in-law's kind of bitchy to him. Like, she emasculates him in front of the wife. Why don't you do this? Why don't it's the wife's mother. So I said to him, why do you let her babysit the kids? Fucking throw her out. You know, I'm not married. I give shitty advice. And he goes, you know what? She's good to the kids. I mean, like, no one's going to love them like their grandmother. So he tolerates that. Now, and he has to put up with a lot of shit in the house. If you don't live with her and you don't have to deal with it all the time, maybe it's important for her to have her grandmother, and you just deal with her on a minimal level and tolerate it, but realize this shithead is being really nice to your daughter. So even though she's shitty to you, as the adult, you can deal with it. And she's probably giving the kid great memories, and you know, like, she'll babysit the kid. So even though she's a fucking cunt on wheels, you and the wife can go out to dinner while the old bag babysits her.
Yeah, I mean, we try. We do our best. I'm just, when I go over there, I'm agitated, and I get in my, you know, I go into my bad spot, and I start with my comments, and I start making, you know what I mean?
But realize if she's nice to your daughter, and she loves your daughter, and she shows pictures of your daughter to everyone, realize that she is a fucking old bag of shit, but there's something really good about her because she loves her granddaughter. Like, you know what I mean? That's the good part of her. Unfortunately, you got to deal with the cunty part of her, but at least your daughter doesn't. At least your daughter gets the nice old lady part. So fuck it, you deal with it.
All right, that's some good advice. Thank you, Jimmy.
Just look at her picture and mumble cunt when no one's around. Believe me, it'll feel good.
Yeah, I'll just do it to her face.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, Jimmy, appreciate it. Hope to see you in Texas soon, man.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. Dave in Nantucket. How can you quit smoking? Well, Dave, take that cock. It's so long you can suck it. All right, sorry, Dave. I was just doing an old limerick. What's up, buddy?
Thank you, Jimmy. You're wonderful. I wish you were on 5 days a week. I really appreciate it.
Dave, from your lips to God's ears. What's up?
Yummy. I know that you quit smoking. I believe it was 2001. I also have relationship problems, but I want to know, what was your cure and how did you stay away from it? Because I'm going to try tomorrow because with my sister, I've got a brand new nephew, and she told me if she smells smoke on me, I'm not able to hold my brand new nephew who's a month old.
Well, what I would do to quit smoking is I I would take a cigarette and I would stand in a full-length mirror and I would break it in half and I would go, Jimmy Norton, he's our man. If he can't quit, no one can. And I would do this 4,000 or 5,000 times until the desire. No, I'm kidding. I just really wanted to give that advice to somebody. I hope somebody hung up and that's what they're doing and their whole family fucking hates them. No, dude, what I did was Esty from the Comedy Cellar took me to get the patch. I was ready to quit. I had a moment of clarity. Obviously, you want to quit. I didn't think I could do it. My buddy Tom Nemec gave me advice. He said that he heard from another comedian named Jim Labriola, who I believe lives in L.A. now, that Jim said when he quit smoking, he had a hard time because he thought that smoking was a part of who he was. And I never forgot that. This is not a part of who I am. It's a thing I do, but it's not a part of me. And stupid Colin Quinn, nobody's friend Colin Quinn, helped me a lot because he said the urge to smoke will pass whether you smoke or not. So I would get this overwhelming urge. I would be on the patch. I would drink some water and I would realize whether I light up or I don't, the urge is going to pass. It's just going to take a little longer if I don't. And I'm telling you, now they have electronic cigarettes. I don't even know if those are good. The patch helped me a lot. It was tough at times, but I recommend it highly. Just do it as it's suggested. Don't try to say, hey, I'll do it my way. Your way stinks. Do it the way they suggest on the box. Drink a shitload of water and realize that, it's the best decision you're ever going to make.
Okay, and I think I remember that episode. Didn't they bring in like a carotid lung or something like that, and you had like a moment of clarity on the show?
Yes, but I think, my moment of clarity wasn't because of the lung. Because that guy had also brought in a breast with a cancer lump in it. He goes, feel it. And I put on a glove and he's like, feel it. And, then I jerked off on it. I don't think that was what he wanted. But, that I had a moment of clarity when we were doing, what the hell is that? Where a guy thought he had mouth cancer. But the reality was that moment of clarity came for you. It's you want to see your nephew. And, the fact that you're thinking of it, I had one more Parliament. Anthony scolded me. Just throw the fucking pack out. Anthony, had I not done that, I probably would not have quit smoking that night. So when you take your last drag, throw the fucking pack out and realize this is going to hurt for a little while. And when you're jonesing and when you're going through, recognize what it is. Going, oh my God, my body is screaming for this, but you're getting it out. Your body is getting rid of it, man. It's a healthy thing. You're going to cough shit up. It's fucking great. Go through it. You only have to go through it once, okay?
And nothing since, right? No puffs, no drags, no nothing.
I have not had a cigar, or I'm too weak, dude. I really am. I cannot do it. I don't trust myself. I've done nothing. But you only got to do it a day at a time or an hour at a time. There were times I'd be on the computer for an hour and go, oh my God, I haven't thought of a fucking cigarette in an hour. Because I used to always smoke on the computer. The fact that I am now quit for real is a miracle to me. Like, I can't fucking believe I did it. So you can do it, dude. I promise you.
I don't want to take up much more of your time, but I'm 36 years old, never been married, no rings, no kids, thank God. There might be a few out there. I don't answer the phone on Father's Day. I always seem to get comfortable in a relationship, and then I look for something better, sort of like a sex addict. And, I'm in love with this girl across the way, but she's not really into me. We fooled around a few times. She says she needs her space. She's on meds. I'm on meds, too. I know it's a disaster, but I really care about her. I want to help her. I want to fix her. I know I got to fix myself.
Let me stop you right here. I understand this. It's maybe you're a rescuer, or maybe you're one of those guys that likes a challenge because she doesn't want you, or that's all it is. So I have to recognize that in myself too. Hey man, this is not about love or not love. You like the challenge. The challenge is gone. You lose interest. They walk away. I chase them. It's fucking pathetic. Recognizing it really helps. And I gotta run, brother, because we got a bunch of people, but, I do appreciate it. Just know that that's probably what it is, okay?
Hey, come here to Nantucket. Bill Burr came here last year. It was great. I want to see you.
Oh, well, good for Bill Burr. All right, I will, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. God damn it, I went up to Nantucket, Jim. You got to go. Fucking psycho. But even when Bill's being nice, he fucking scares me. Anthony said he was scared of Bill. I get that. Because you always think that Bill's being, ready to bite your head off until he laughs. You know? Dude, you got to go to England. And I'm like, all right, Bill. It's fucking great. I'm like, all right, good. He likes me. Let's see here. Jim in Long Island can relate to the abuse about sexual caller abuser. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Jimmy. How you doing?
Thanks for the call.
Yeah, I completely identify with the gentleman that you spoke to a few minutes ago. I experienced abuse myself, and forever I have a fear that that's something that I would pass on to someone else, and I definitely don't want to do that. And what it has done is that creates distance between me and young people, and young kids.
Well, let me ask you a question. In the darkest recesses of your mind, this is why I asked that last caller. Have you ever been sexually attracted to a child?
No.
Like, I mean, I know that that's a hard question, and no man wants to answer that. But just you don't even have to answer it on the air. But if in your mind you've ever jerked off thinking of a little kid or whatever, maybe that's something. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe that demon is in there a little bit, and you're aware of it, or he's aware of it. Who knows? I find myself not wanting to be around kids because they genuinely irritate me. But I can't even imagine looking at one and finding them sexually. I just can't even comprehend it. But there are people that do. And that's a big shame issue for adults, which it should be. But if you have that thing or that's in there, don't deny it to yourself. Admit it to yourself and then deal with it.
Yeah, so, anybody that has those types of feelings need to seek help for sure. But what I found in my experience is that, first of all, it happened at a relatively young age. I was in 5th grade.
Okay.
And what I found, one of the ways that I dealt with it was that I shared it, not by doing things to other people my age, but wanting to encourage people to, when a person in authority does something like that to a child, it breaks barriers down that shouldn't be broken down at that age.
Right.
And I found that I had no more barriers, and I had to deal with that for the longest time. As a young adult, I don't think I would have been nearly as promiscuous as I was if that hadn't happened to me at such a young age.
Yeah, you might be right, man. I've always thought I was because, I'm such a pervert and a whack job. I'm like, I show all the signs of it, but I have no memory of it. And if I did, I would just say it. I mean, I've talked about, my sexual shit for years. So if that was something I remembered, I would absolutely say it without shame. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think you're, so what do you suggest he do, basically?
Well, I think that this gentleman that we're talking about, I think it wouldn't hurt him to get some counseling.
Yeah, I
and
suggested that to him
too.
too.
Explore that.
Yep. All right. I got to run, buddy, because we got a lot more callers. But thank you very much for the call, Jim. I think you're right.
Thank you.
Take care, brother. Tracy, North Dakota, terminal brain disease. You wonder if you should tell your wife? Hey, man.
Hey, Jim. Love the show.
Hi, buddy. Thank you. What, do you have cancer?
No, it's similar to multiple sclerosis.
MS. And how long have you been married?
13 years.
And when did you find out you had this?
I found out I had it about a year and a half ago, and they were kind of thinking multiple sclerosis, and now it's some other rare thing, and my wife doesn't know, and so my dilemma is, do I tell her and have her treat me different, or do I just not say anything and let nature take its course? And
when are you going to die? Or do you don't know?
2 to 4 years.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, man, but you should definitely tell her. Like, why wouldn't you tell her and give her an opportunity to help you? Because for the rest of her life now, I'm guessing if you don't tell her, she'll be like, oh my God, I should have been nicer to him, or oh my God, like, she may have regrets if you don't tell her. So maybe you should tell her and let her work through it with you. And is there any type of a possible fix for it?
Maybe. I mean, they're trying all sorts of different things, but,
How
I
are
guess
you sneaking off to the doctor without her knowing?
I told her I had some blood work that needed to be done. And
I think you should tell her, dude. I really do.
Okay.
Because again, how do you, like, whatever the name of the disease, I don't remember. Let's say she's at work and she overhears somebody talking about, oh my God, they got this new thing for this. You never know what another person can do as far as bringing you help, even if it's your wife. She may hear something that she never would have thought, or she may ask somebody she meets who gives her information that you never would have gotten. So I think you should definitely tell her.
All right, cool.
Be good,
Thanks,
buddy.
Jim.
Okay, good luck, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Stinks. Chris in Georgia, we have to wrap up very quickly. You have advice for the mother-in-law caller. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Yeah, I can kind of relate to the guy because I don't care to go around my in-laws very much either. But I've been married for 20 years, been dealing with it for 20 years. is I used to feel the same way. I value my time at home when I'm not working with my family, and when it comes time to do something with them, like during the holidays, it feels like it just ruins your time off with your family and everything. But you got to keep in mind, it's just one freaking day, and the next time, you might see them, once in a blue moon throughout the year or whatever, But don't let it get to. I think he's letting it get in his head too much. I mean, it's just one day, and then you've got all this other time to spend with the family.
I agree, buddy. Thank you for the call, and thank you for the advice. This is a good show because people have called in and helped out. Thank you guys, everyone, for listening. And next week the show is canceled. April 5.
Thanks for listening to the Jim Norton Show. Hear all that advice whenever you want to on demand at SiriusXM.com/on-demand. On SiriusXM is real.
They all go out to go into a bar or something like that, so I'm just not getting the phone calls.
Right.
Say, hey, come to the bar with us. We're going out. Or even for dinner parties and things like that nature. I guess they just feel awkward about it, but I'm fine.
Well, I think you should tell them that. I have people, I've gone on dates once in a while, and I'll be with someone, and they'll be like, do you mind if I have a drink? I'm like, what do I care? No. I mean, they're being courteous and they're being nice, but sometimes people just need you to say, hey, look, it's fine if you have a drink. I'm not a fucking bleeding deacon. I don't go out and, preach fire and brimstone. That's your business. I don't want somebody falling down loaded around me because that's just annoying for anybody to deal with. But maybe if you reach out to your friends and go, hey, look, you haven't been calling me as much. I can't go out and get fucked up the way I used to, but I still miss you and like hanging out with you. Let them know that it's okay for them to be themselves around you. And don't forget, if any of them have a problem, you quitting may disturb them because that could be a mirror that they're being forced to kind of hold up to themselves too. So that may just be a part of it. So what I would suggest is go to sober places and meet people who are sober.
Do you find women have a problem with it? I find women, when I first meet them and I let them know, hey, I don't drink or anything, they have like a real bad reaction to it. And then I don't get, third or fourth dates really.
No, I don't think that they're, maybe you're more nervous or maybe they become self-conscious about their own drinking. But no, women tend to like it because I'm not some sloppy drunk and I have real conversations with them. But don't let it discourage you, man. Just keep moving forward. You'll find plenty of sober people. You're going to lose a lot more people being drunk than you will being sober. Believe me, okay?
Thanks, Jim.
Take care, buddy. Cody in Buffalo, how do I keep from getting discouraged by negativity on social media? I have never experienced it, Cody. Hey, what's up, man?
How's it going, Jim?
I'm good, buddy. How are you? It's irritating. But we were discussing it one time, and it said it's like we wait for that moment where we're going to say the magic thing, which makes everybody change their mind. And that moment just never comes. Mark in New Jersey, what's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I've been sober about 15 months now, and I'm losing friends.
Why?
Well, not losing them per se. They're still there, but they're not calling me to go out anymore because they feel like I'll have a problem at going out to a bar or something like that, or if there's alcohol around, and I just don't know where I could meet people. I go to like a rock climbing gym and stuff like that, but I don't know where I can meet other non-alcohol related activities, I guess. I don't know if you went through that or...
Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard. I hung out with sober people. I just kind of stayed with people who were like I was, people who were sober. And there was sober dances. I mean, they were kind of lame compared to, I'm sure, a nightclub. But, you knew you weren't going to get punched in the face in one. And, I mean, I knew I wasn't going to get laid anyway. They were very lonely times for me. But I found I got a tremendous amount of new friends. I don't know if did you go to any programs or anything for being sober?
No, I stopped on my own before, family stepped in, and no one really told me I had a problem. I recognized it on my own, and I've been strong enough to just not do it.
Well, why, let me ask you, why are your friends not hanging out with you?
Well, I think they feel they don't know how to interact with me,
And, realistically, man, I talk for a living, so I'm going to have to deal with it. And I've been brutally criticized on social media. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not. You have to kind of know. I think I'm at least fair enough with myself to have a good gauge for when it's accurate and when it's not. Or, as a stand-up, I've said this before, but you get criticized every fucking night. Every night that they don't laugh, that's a room full of people going, nope. You know what I mean? It's like somebody on Twitter. It's like, come on, dude. I fucking, every night an audience tells me what you're telling me with one joke or another, sometimes with all my jokes. So, you just have to know it for what it is and recognize it for what it is. Like most of the social media outrage is a lie. So I know it's a lie and I address it as the lie that it is. So it feels kind of good to combat all these fucking babies, all these fucking little crybabies just by being logical and expressing my opinions. That's all you can do. I mean, otherwise, look, they're going to express their opinion, so fuck them. Why should I express mine? All right?
Yeah, well said. I just want to say, man, like for you to be in the position you're in and to have those opinions and to be able to write for Time and get it out there, you're really like an inspiration to someone like myself that like it is worthwhile and there is a place for people like us, I guess. So I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it too, man. And I only write for Time when they ask me to. Like, I've never asked Time, hey, could I write this article for you? I've never gone to them. They have asked me. The only thing, I've said no to a couple things. Like, they asked me to write about Joan Rivers, who I love, but I just didn't know her. So I felt like I wasn't qualified to write anything. I wound up writing this, though, because they asked me to.
It was a great article, dude. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Ryan in Chicago.
Good, man. I read your Time article. I want to tell you that I absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
I thought it was very well written, and I agree with everything that you brought up. I was just curious. I mean, you're a public figure. You're on the radio. You're a comedian. You tour, so you probably experience it more than someone like myself. But when you're dealing with, when you're on social media, you see a lot of people kind of posting things that contradict the notion that you're alluding to in your article. People that kind of support the political correct viewpoint and over censoring things. And a lot of times when I see stuff like that, like I just get so frustrated. I almost want to like delete my Twitter and like just get off the internet because I feel like it's almost a hopeless situation. Like there's too much ignorance around us to even try and fight against it. And I'm curious, kind of, since you probably deal with it more, how you deal with, instead of just withdrawing, actually being outspoken and trying to fight against that.
Well, it's funny because that's what people do. That's why people, like when I debated Lindy West, people who didn't agree with her, and I didn't agree with her, but there was no reason to be nasty to her. Like literally, she had the debate. She showed up, but guys were still going on, you're a cunt who should get raped, because they think that they're just being edgy, but they don't understand, like, you're saying that, like, they don't even know why they're doing it. The reality is they want to be heard. People want to be heard. And sometimes just saying something really awful is the only way you think that you're going to be heard. And I understand because I have that same instinct. Believe me, there's times like, if taxes go up or whatever, I want to go on, President Obama's Twitter and just yell, fuck you. We all want to do that because you think that will get a reaction, but it really doesn't. Because we're afraid if we talk civilly, believe me, I've said a lot of horrible shit. So I'm not against saying horrible shit, but I mean, I understand why I do a lot of it. It's a frustration and a fear of not being heard.
The J, the I, the M, the M, the Y, the J, the I, the M is Jimmy. It's Jimmy. The J, the I, the M, the M, the Y, the J, the I, the M is Jimmy. It's Jimmy.
How's that for a new opener? Oh, I hope that gets everyone pumped for the Jim Norton Advice Show. Isn't that a good new opening? Really gets you going. It's got my name in it. All right. It's the Jim Norton Advice Show. And, April Fools! It's obviously April 1st. And, a lovely afternoon so far. It's been a really weird couple of days with this whole Trevor Noah thing. Everybody is talking about, most people that listen to the show even the ones that hate the show but listen to it because they have nothing else to do, they agree. I think Trevor Noah shouldn't be fired or penalized. And it's like, when does it get boring? Like, we get sick of talking about it. I know I do. It's like you just get sick of yapping about the same thing. But, when are they going to stop hassling people for jokes? Like, I don't, there's not one person I've ever met that actually said, hey, that's a great idea. I don't like what that person said. It just drives me nuts. I try to remain calm, though. I really do. Me and Anthony used to talk about that, because he gets so crazy over the racial stuff, and I don't like most of it either. I find that the media reporting on it is very, very inconsistent.